Hi, it's Katie. So, first, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watched my previous video. I was absolutely blown away by the amount of people that watched and commented after sharing a few minutes with me, talking about Hobonichi and enjoying the planner season of upcoming 2026. I posted the video and I felt really nervous before doing that, but I was like, oh, I'm going on vacation for the weekend. I won't think about it. Maybe I'll get 10 views. And I received so many comments, and I just wanted to thank you for taking the time because all weekend when I was checking my phone, I would see another really kind comment encouraging me. So I am going to stick with it and keep going. I wanted to share my current Hobonichi collection. I have been journaling in Hobonichi since 2023. Um, I first purchased my journal, the 2023, just the in the fall avec version. I actually went to Tobichi in Tokyo because I was living in Tokyo at the time. I purchased the July through December and I picked out a cover that I enjoyed, which I'll show you in just a minute. And that is actually my thickest journal. It's very big because at the time, living in Tokyo, I could go to Daiso and Seria to buy a lot of really fun stationery. Now I don't live in Tokyo and I am using journaling more as a way to collect ephemera and keep track of memories from our time living here in Europe and just our travels, maybe back to Japan or to visit my family in the United States. But I will show those to you. I'm not going to flip through them right now because they're messy and unorganized, just like my brain. Um, but yeah, so I hope you enjoy the collection that I have so far. And I am also wearing my Pamm from the 2024 Hobonichi release. I went ahead and splurged on a very expensive set of pajamas that I actually wear as everyday clothes. Not so often because they definitely look like pajamas. I'll usually just wear the top or the pants by themselves. It looks more, I don't know, less like I've stumbled out of bed and left my house. But yeah, I enjoy them. I loved both journal covers from that release, so I indulged myself and bought everything from the collection that I loved. But anyway, without any further conversation, here are my beautiful journals that I have so far. All right, so here are my most prized possessions, starting from 2023, going all the way to ones that I'm using for just everyday note keeping or memories, my weeks that I'm currently using, last year's freebie that I keep in my purse. I love the pretzel one. And a special notebook that I'll talk about just for a little bit at the end. This is my first Hobonichi that I ever purchased. As you can see, it is very chunky. I got it in July 2023 and completed it December 2023. I actually finished it on New Year's Eve, right before the fireworks. And I think one of my favorite things is how the spine is almost a complete circle because it's so filled. And I have some Karage-kun stickers here. I love this one. It is so filled with memories. I have a bento band holding it closed because otherwise it just explodes. This one, I love the cover. It was by a Japanese designer that did all kinds of designs for trains in Japan, and I also love Japanese trains. So he actually did an A6 size as well, which I have, and I'll show you in my collection too. From January until June of 2024, I was using the Pamm cover, just like the pajamas that I have. This one's not quite as thick, but it is still filled with a lot of memories. And these are actually from a baptism and wedding that we went to. So I like to keep a lot of stuff in my journal. It's pretty filled. I also keep these in there. I think they're beautiful. From July until December of 2024, I have this one. It is just a plain cover with a Osamu Goods cover on cover. I got this at Portillo's in the United States, and it actually is supposed to smell like a cake shake. So it smells a little bit like chocolate. You can see a ribbon poking out here. We went to Venice right before Christmas. My son and I did, and we did a little travel. He loved the bridges and running around the canals. And this one, again, is pretty chunky. But I decided for the next year that I wanted to move into a cousin size just to give myself some more space. This is the 2024 weeks that I used that year. I customized it with some stickers by Kate Paints. I bought these at Rainbow Holic at Kyla's store. I actually met her and my friend Julie at the Hobonichi preview event for Hobonichi in, let's see, it would have been summer of 2023. And we have been really good friends since then. We just like to talk on Instagram and keep up with each other. And we like to visit when we can, but we don't get to see each other in person very much anymore. And let's see, I have this pencil board is still tucked in there. I guess I could use that. But this year's weeks came with its own pencil board, so I haven't needed it yet. This one, I just like to journal about my day, and I use the monthly to just keep track of different events, but also just make memos about maybe something that happened that day or upcoming travel. Those are all of my finished journals. These are some that I have in my current rotation. This one is, again, the Pamm. I think it was called Generous Interior. And now you'll probably hear my dog walking around because she's wondering who I'm talking to. So this one I just use to keep track of YouTube notes for myself, to keep track of what I want to say in a video, make notes about future videos. This is a really fun notebook that I found in Tokyo, and it's called Sandwich Note. And it has different fruits. There's whipped cream, there's strawberries, kiwi, and mandarin oranges. And it's just, I guess it's supposed to look like a fruit sandwich. I thought it was too cute. And I have the Love It Panda pencil board for this one. And I enjoy using the Matahop pens. They're so nice and thick and they make big colors. It's really enjoyable. And just some patches that my husband brought back when he went to Vienna a few months ago. This one is one that I'm using to store ephemera from travels. I have a charm on it that I got from a gacha gacha. And this one I started August 2023. And as you can see, it is filled with all kinds of just pamphlets and packaging, things that I want to keep track of that I enjoy. And it's just a plain graph notebook from Hobonichi. There's all kinds of stuff tucked in here. And this is the A6 by the designer. I cannot remember his name, but I'll put it in the description below. I would love to someday ride on one of the trains that he's designed through Japan. I think that would be really cool. He has a lot of seat covers that are made in this fabric, and they look so stunning. This little guy is from, I am not even sure what year. I think it was 2019. I found this one on Mercari in Japan because I wanted this one, and this was long after I had joined the Hobonichi fan group. And I have a Mr. Donuts charm on there, which I got in Japan. I love the little bears on the bookmarks here. This one I'm trying to write a story. We'll see how it goes. And I decorated the front. Yeah, this is from 2023, but it's just a day free that I like to keep track of my writing, whatever, and the Aurora pencil board, which I am actually going to take from here and put in our 5-year when it arrives. This is my June Aida cover, Himitsu Stranger. I loved this one. In the release, I knew I wanted to have the cover as big as I could get it. And so I got a cousin size, and also just to give myself more room to be creative, paste things. And I know the pen color was not a huge hit with many people. They said, oh, it's giving Big Bird. It's too colorful. It's just too much. It's not the same muted colors like we typically like. But I actually thought it coordinated perfectly with this cover. So this one is this year's cousin size that I am journaling in. Some ephemera, some day-to-day things that I want to write down. And last here, we just have a plain graph notebook. It was the year before they came out with the blank notebook and the lined notebook. I would have loved to have had the completely blank one. I was going to try to make myself a 5-year journal. What I wanted to do was keep memos about the day, use the little pochito stamp to keep track of the weather, and then I was going to give each day a color for something that it reminded me of throughout the day. And then in the back, I was going to just keep a color log, and I was keeping up with this pretty well. I think I got very tired of trying to make the 5-year journal itself, and I noticed that the stamp was ghosting through, so I decided I would just use my other journals for now, and if I kept up with the weeks, then I told myself I could get a 5-year journal. And this year I finally splurged, and as many of you know, I have a 5-year journal for the upcoming year. And like I mentioned with the colors, I wanted to just make a nice graph in the back for a rainbow. I'm not sure exactly what I was going to do there, but I was just giving myself a little mark for every day that I kept up with it. But I stopped partway through the month just because of the ghosting and the time it was taking to make my own. I just didn't feel like investing it. So this is a notebook that I will be repurposing to put ephemera in, but I'm not a huge fan of this cover. So I've bought some stuff, and I also have some other things that I've saved from travels. So in a future video, what I would like to do is recover it and make it more fun without splurging on a Hobonichi cover, but just repurposing things that I already have. So that is something I will be making in a future video. I hope that's of interest to you. And Yeah, like I mentioned, if anybody wants a pen, please just shout out in the comments below. I also got the Weeks by June Ida. It came with the adorable pencil board, which I will for sure use in future journals. I loved this cover. I thought the picture was beautiful. I love seeing it every day when I pick up my journal. This is just a little paper clip that I got from a coworker back when I was working in Tokyo. And this one I just use to keep track of daily goals, things that I'm grateful for, just memories, preserving everything. This was last year's freebie. I actually put it in a Midori cover so that I could have a pen loop and keep it kind of protected. It was the freebie gift, and I actually got really lucky. This is the one I was hoping for because I like blue and I like black. It matches my vibe that I like to have. This one I just throw in my purse. I have to-dos, I have knitting notes, I have just memos about stuff that I need to keep track of. Different ideas that I have that I want to remember that I don't have my weeks or something else with me. So this one's usually just floating around in my purse somewhere. A few of the freebies that I got from 2024. Again, super lucky. This is the exact one that I kept wishing for. I love pretzels. I love snacks. This one, when I opened the silver bag, I was so excited to get this one. I like to use it when I'm journaling. Also, my son loves to pick it up and store little treasures. He pretends he's shopping. This actually gets a lot of use in our house. I had to track it down when I wanted to make the video. It took me a little while, but here it is. And I have two of the pens from 2024. I know a lot of people like to collect these, and these really aren't getting any use in our house. So if someone would like them, just make a comment down below. I can try to send them to you. I don't really collect things that I'm not currently using. So if they can go to someone that it would bring them joy, please let me know. I would be more than happy to send them to you. All right, so that is my collection. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today, and I hope you enjoyed seeing what I have. I would love to hear about one of your favorite covers or maybe a notebook or planner that you've had in planner notebook timeout. I try not to call it a graveyard because that implies they're dead, but something that you hope to revive and revitalize and make use of in the upcoming season. Have a good weekend. Bye.